Hello everyone. Hello, can everybody hear me? Yes. Wonderful. Thank you all so very much for coming. You are all here for the Singleton Backlog. My name is Anita.
And I'm Felicity.
And we are going to be your co-hosts this afternoon. So to give you a feel of the book before you read it, like I said earlier, we're going to go through chapters of the book and ask questions based around that.
And that sort of thing. So my question to you, Samuel, is how would you, as a single man, show interest in a female that you're interested in? Yeah. Can you show us how you yeah. Ladies, listen.
It's alright, you don't have to give your secrets. Just basic.
Yeah, it doesn't give your secrets. Doesn't have to be your secrets.
Don't have to give me yours.
Okay.
But you can give us one.
Yeah, one at least.
Well, I don't know. Me personally, if it was somebody that I, found attractive and whatnot, then I don't know. I'll just go up to her. Wait, let me do the walk again. Actually, give me the confident walk. So I'd walk up to her and I'd say, "How you doing? You alright?"
I'm good, thank you.
I'm very well. My name's Sam. What's your name?
Felicity.
Okay, cool. What are you doing next week Thursday? Can I come?
Sure you can, definitely.
Okay, cool. I'll meet you there.
Thank you.
And then probably from there, we get to talking.
Oh yes, sorry. The author.
I'm Christina. I'll say to some of you. What do I do for work? I work in compliance, anti-money laundering. I enjoy my job. I get to travel a lot, which is something that I really like to do. What I do outside of work. Well, now that I've stopped writing, not much. Yeah, I kind of like writing. I think if it's writing my blogs, which I haven't done in a while, or writing my book, I just that's my way of expressing myself. So yeah, I say writing.
Moving on, so without giving too much away, can you tell us a bit about the book and why you wrote it?
So the book, you don't already know, it's called The Singleton, and it's me sharing my personal journey of being a singleton, both not as a Christian and as a Christian, and just, I guess, explaining the struggles that I went through and how I reached the point of struggle to contentment. And like Melia said, there is no formula. In the book, I don't say, "Oh, do this," and you won't. It won't be something that you suffer from. But I just share my experience, and then I hope you take from that, and I hope that encourages you. So yeah, I just wanted to share how I went from struggle to contentment, and both as not as a Christian and as a Christian, because I think that's important. I would say chapter 3, because chapter 1 discusses all the reasons why or the popular reasons why we struggle with being single. Chapter 2, I kind of share my journey, and then chapter 3 talks about how to go from struggle to contentment. And I think a lot of the times we're like, you know what, I'm tired of, being single, I'm tired of being single and miserable, but then we don't know the steps after or what to do after that. So I think chapter 3 is like, okay, you're ready to stop being a miserable single person, what can you do? Or what are some of the things that I done that got me to where I am today? And I will say that I am content being single. It's not that I don't desire marriage, because I do. But I'm at that stage in my life where the love that I have for God, my love for God is my driving force. Like, I don't chase after a relationship, or I don't chase after marriage. It's not to say that I don't want these things, but they can't even compare to my love for God. And I feel like I've even got to that stage where if God said to me, I think you're better off being single, I would be happy with that. Not, like I said, it's not that I don't desire marriage, but I trust God's will for my life. And I trust that what God wants for me is the best for me. So. I would say it took me 2 years, but I don't think it takes 2 years to write a book. But everybody's different. I think some of the stuff that I was writing about when I first started, when I read it back, like, even though I'm encouraging people, I was still going through a journey myself. So it wasn't something that could have been written in a month, because I wasn't there yet in a month. So I think don't be discouraged. If you're trying to write a book, don't be discouraged by the amount of time that it takes. It's a process, and you learn along the way. It's going to sound really simple, and it is actually, but when I was going through my single season and I was desperate to get a man, I knew God was telling me it's not your time. So I was like, okay, God, if it's not my time, what is it that I'm meant to be doing? And that's when He laid it on my heart to write this book. And I think some of the times we're like, oh, we don't know what we're meant to do, but we never actually ask. And it's that simple. I think it's James 1:5. God says, if you ask me, I won't rebuke you for asking. I will actually answer you. And a lot of us, we don't actually ask. We get annoyed that we don't have a purpose, or we don't know what our purpose is, when we've never actually spent time with our Maker to find out what it is. So it really is that simple. I'm not saying that He will answer straight away, but be expectant that He will answer. While I was writing, one of the things that I always said is that I didn't want to be the poster girl for singleness. I just didn't want to, there's certain, you see people and you just identify them with certain things, but I don't know, like, if somebody says Ricky, you just think, oh, Ricky from EastEnders, or like, they're just certain things that happen, and you just kind of identify them. So I didn't want people to be like, oh, Christina, oh, well, Christina's the single person. So I didn't want to identify myself as that. So I was very hesitant to write the book. But I think again, it's that renewal of your mind. After a while, I saw that being single wasn't a curse. It was I find being single so beautiful. And when people say, oh, I'm struggling with being single, I get it, because I've been there. But I'm just like, there's so much beauty in it. Like, there's so much you can learn about yourself, that you can build in. I always say, I don't think I would have the kind of relationship that I have with God if I was in a relationship with somebody else, because I wouldn't have the time. And I think I've got to that place where I had tried everything else. It's like, oh, why don't you try God? And then I tried God, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. But I don't think I'm a master at singleness. I think I'm just sharing my experience. I think there's people that have been single for longer than I have. There's people that have been single and were content within a year. It took me, 5-6 years? I think I'm just sharing my story, and people can take from that. When I would get attention from a guy and I just genuinely wasn't interested, and it's a guy that would tick all the boxes, but I just wasn't interested. I felt like they weren't Christians or whatever. It's just, like I said, I was just in a season where I love God, and I want to build my relationship with God more. Again, like I said, if I heard somebody was getting married or something before, I'd be really jealous. I'd find things about them to justify, like, also make myself feel better. Whereas when I was content, I was praying for them. I think you can be content and still desire at the same time. But my desire is not my idol. Like, I don't chase after my desire. I trust God, and I think that's the difference. Before, I was chasing after my desire and hoping that God would bring it to pass, and now I'm chasing after God, and through God, He will bring my desires to pass.
But just before we start with the closing prayer, Tos will Christina would like to say a few words.
I just want to thank everybody for coming. Even though it's a free event, your time is not free, so I really appreciate you coming and supporting, and for your text and your prayers and for everything. Just even stuff like, oh, how can I help? Even though I didn't take it from a lot of you, not because I didn't want to, but you know when I'm very specific. I know what I like, and it's long. I might as well do it than explain it to somebody. But I really appreciate everybody that's here today. Thank you to all the panelists. Like, literally from the moment that I shared with them what I wanted, they were all on board. Like, I'm so grateful. Thank you for my family. Thank you guys for your support. Like, it's not unnoticed. Thank you just for always encouraging me in and out of season. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my co-hosts. Thank you just everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. And if there's any food left, take it. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening.
Hey, my name is Amanda. So the book launch, Christina, was amazing. The Singleton book launch. I learned so much from the panel, you know, talking about relationships and the importance of being content and just nurturing and growing a relationship with God, you know, and not fixing your eyes on when am I going to get married, when are things going to happen for me, but rather, you know, say seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all other things shall be added. And it was so amazing to come to this book launch and learn so much, you know, in regards to what to do in your single season. And definitely I'm going to apply what I've learned, you know, in my own time with God, and also, you know, where I am right now. So Christina, I just wanted to say God richly bless you. It was such an amazing event, you know. God richly bless you and continue to use you, and thank you for stepping out, and thank you for being obedient and going forward with this book. Even though it took 2 years, you were really, really amazing, and may God continue to use you and write through you for this generation. God bless you.
I enjoyed it. I like that there were so many people there. It just shows support, and it's, you know, when God gives you something to work with, at first you're thinking, how am I going to make this happen? But it's not really about you, and just look at how it turned out today. I took a lot from the event. I mean, being someone that's still still single themselves, and sort of getting to that point of contentment, it was amazing that there's no formula, you know, that you can use to get to this place. It's just really developing your relationship with God, and I'm so thankful that you could, you know, share this. So many people at our stage are looking for people they can speak to that are authentic enough or transparent enough to share their story, and you've done that, and that's amazing. And to think that you probably spoke to so many people, even if they might not be here, you know, telling you in a recording, you have spoken to so many people. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of the many that haven't said thank you. It was really great, and thank you for stepping out. You know, I've known you for a short time now, but I'm just happy that, you know, you keep talking about how God speaks to you, and you just keep moving. It might seem, you know, to you that maybe it takes you a while, but you've listened, and this is 2 years worth of sowing, and look at the reaping now. And the message is just continue doing what God has asked you to do. Keep stepping out, you know, even when you're afraid. At least you know you're on the right step when you're coming out of your comfort zone, and just keep being you. And you know, now that you've been doing what God has asked you to do, someone's going to come and approach you. So I'm waiting for that book, Engaged.